Hiya folks, welcome to the first episode of Guitar Jack. My name's Jack, I'll be your host, and today's episode will be a brief introduction of myself, Guitar Jack, and also the anatomy of a guitar. So starting off with myself, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm dressed in some athletic wear right now. I just got back from the gym. That's one of my many hobbies, alongside playing guitar. And of course, like everyone else, I simply don't have as much time as I wish I did for anything, whether it's for school assignments, sleep, or guitar. And that's why I've created this channel. On to Guitar Jack. Guitar Jack for me was something that I thought about recently. It was designed to kind of fill the gap because there is a lot of content online, and unfortunately they aren't teaching you the greatest things. A lot of times they'll make content that sells you this false, not necessarily false information, but it gives you a false sense of accomplishment, or false sense of progression would be a better word. You end up finding that these videos have unrealistic standards, but you have nothing to base any of your guitar playing standards off of, so you end up just kind of giving up. And I've seen a lot of my friends go through that. I've known a lot of people that have gone through that, and I think it's very unfortunate. And that's why I've kind of made this Weekend Warriors guide, which brings us to the beginning of our first episode, the anatomy of a guitar. So, this is my beautiful Taylor Mini. I definitely do need to clean her a little bit. It's a little well overdue. But up at the top here, this is the headstock. And then down here is the actual body of the guitar. This brown rosewood, this is the fretboard. And in between these individual bars are frets. And if you notice, most guitars will be marked 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and the 12th fret. And that's just for ease of playing. When we break it down even farther, down here we have the bridge, and up here at the base of the headstock is the nut. And they both help with keeping the guitar strings stable and constantly under tension, because these things, these bad boys up here, the tuning pegs, they can only do so much, but the nut makes sure that the guitar string really doesn't have anywhere to go, so it stays in tune. All right. This is the sound hole, and depending on what type of guitar you have, you may not have a sound hole, but of course, whether you're on electric or acoustic, they have their benefits. I will say learning to play on acoustic is definitely something I would recommend, because you build much greater finger strength, and once you make that transition to electric, you'll find that you'll be able to do more things. I am a firm believer that if you can play anything on acoustic, or if you can play something on acoustic, then you can play it on electric probably 10 times better, especially when you get into stuff with bends and things like that, because it just, electric strings are easier to manipulate and less hard on your fingers. That's kind of why I push people to learn on acoustic, because then you're not babying yourself necessarily, and you're developing those calluses, and you're strengthening those tendons in your hand and muscles, and it allows you to do some really incredible stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I've missed anything, but I do not think I have, which I know this isn't necessarily the anatomy of a guitar, but we're going to talk about the strings. Now strings, it's up to your own personal preference what strings you want to buy, but depending on your acoustic guitar, whether it's a traditional acoustic guitar or if it's a classical guitar, you might have to buy nylon strings. Nylon strings are typically reserved for classical guitars, and you would notice your tuning pegs look a little different, and the way you actually restring your guitar is a little different. Now, when it comes to strings, just remember Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Pretty goofy, but easy to remember. You have the E string, the A string, the D string, the G string, the B string, and the E string again. And now, of course, if you notice, you have two E's. You have your low E and your high E down at the bottom. But yeah, it's just an easy way to remember that. And I won't get into much more because we're running out of time. But if you watch the next video, I'll begin to go over some beginner exercises that you can do to help build up finger strength and dexterity. And they're exercises that I still do to this day to warm up my fingers and loosen my hand. But yeah, thank you guys. Have a great day. This is Jack signing off.